Hi folks, the limousine picked me up late, so here I am. So let's get the answer for those questions. Did you meet anybody new? Let me ask first. Did you meet anybody new? Did you meet anyone new? Yes, awesome. Yeah, anybody else? Did you meet anyone new? Good, Dawn, Kim, fantastic. Great. So, hi Kim. So, let me hear one or two things. What do you like about where you live? Just tell me, get one or two answers. I'm curious. I'm really curious. What do you like about where you live? The food sounds good. Where do you live, Kim? Oh, okay. I think my husband has been to Suriname. Right, my husband has been to Suriname, so we have some pictures. Good, Carnival, Trevor, I hear you. Yep, definitely the food. Yep, the beach. I miss the beach. So, did you all see our little questionnaire, part 1 questionnaire? Lydia, you love the climate. Me too, just not able with the sun too much. So did you all see the question in the black flyer with the emojis? I can't even remember what was the first question. So I have to, anybody have the first answer? I'm afraid to go in my file here. Okay, I remember, yes, I'm seeing Trevor has it down. Yes, Antida, yeah. Good, Trevor. Fantastic. And what was the second? Let me get my little celebratory. Good for you, Trevor. All right, Trinidad. Right, that's me celebrating your answers. Fantastic. So we have people from all over the islands here, and we are so happy that you're here. We're happy you can connect. We're happy that you can come and learn and have fun and connect at the same time. So let's get going, Francis. Let me see if... First, make sure that this thing is open here. Hey, Diana. Nice that you could join us, Diana. Great. Get myself going here. So we have to use a PDF tonight, simply because I could not have downloaded it as I needed to, but we are here and we are raring to go. So let me see if I can find my place back to the screen for this. And let's see here what is going to happen here. Let's see if it's, yep. Right, there we go. So let me just do a quick pause. Are you with me? Dan, I'm glad you're here too. Are you with me? So everybody's seeing my screen, of course. Are we ready to take that dive? Give me a yes. All righty. Good. All right, so let's get going. So this is me. Of course, Francis introduced me, so you don't need me anymore. So the main thing is for you to stick around until the end of the session. It's going to be like a lottery, a lotto for people from Trinidad. So we have a fantastic gift for you. No, it's not the brand new car you wanted. It's not that kind of gift, okay? But we have a nice prize for you that we think you would like. And yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that, okay? It's going to help you grow a network. So I'm just going to leave it as that. So tell me, my dear people, and I'm going to try to also see you a bit. So, so tell me, why are you here? Anything here applies to you? I didn't want to get the full. Hold a sec. I am going to minimize for a bit because I want to make sure I see you. Oh, I was seeing, and I'm not, because I need to see you. All right. All right, I'm going to stop sharing for a little while. And I'm going to start back, and that's because I need to see you. This went full screen. It's no fun if I don't see you. So I really, really need to see you. So let me just go back here and get back to you. All right, so we're going again. Here we go. Hold on. Yeah. And let's hope that it doesn't come up the way it came up just now. Oh, all right. This is not going to be fun for me. All right. All right, D. All right, so I'm not seeing your comments. So like I said, that I can't, let me, Francis, is there any way I could see the comments as I'm rolling? Francis, is there any way I could see the comments as I'm rolling?
Are you hearing me? Darlene?
I see you're trying to come on stage.
You're not hearing me. I've been having...
Yeah, I'm now hearing you as I just said. Is there any way I can see the comments as I'm rolling and presenting?
No, it's one or, I think it's one or the other.
No. Oh,
or you can have the,
oh man.
You can have the comments, you can have the share screen minimized, but not expanded out. So you could have it small, but they can see it expand. They can see it. They're the ones who have control over the picture.
Okay, so let me try that. Okay, so let me go back to my screen a bit and see. Oh, but I can't do it totally minimized because if I do, then I wouldn't see what's on it. It was taking up part of the screen just now, but it went full screen. Let me see what if I can do this. Okay, right. Okay. Alrighty. Fantastic. I'll see part of the chat, not all. But okay, so because I must see my people. I must see my people. So let's go on this ride again. I feel you and I hear you, Natasha. Adimi, I hear you. Lydia, I hear you. I feel you. Excellent. All right, so I'm seeing part of the, let me see if I can move this around a bit. I guess I cannot. Let me just go back here. All right, I'm seeing part of the chat, probably, I don't know, I missed a few words in the chat, a few letters. So let's get rolling here. So, I mean, the reason I had to put this slide in is because I know how we are all feeling at this time. If not all of us, there must be a time that we went through with what's happening around us, where we're wondering, you know, what's the next step? How do we move forward? I mean, sometimes we are like on a hamster on a wheel, just going through the motions, and actually have a slide with a hamster on the wheel, because sometimes that's what we feel like. So like I say, I feel you. And you know, what I've realized over the years is that because of that hamster on the wheel syndrome, we don't press pause enough. And let me ask you, do you feel that you press that pause button enough? Oh gosh, I hope I see the answers. I'm seeing part of the answers. Do you feel, so I need you to talk to me in the chat. There's no fun for me just staring at a screen and not communicating. I'm hoping to see your answers. I'm seeing something with transition to the next level. Let's see if I can pull this down a bit. All right, yeah, okay, so now we're working. Need to transition to the next level of my career. Got you. So many times we have plans, we have visions, but we don't know how to get there. And sometimes so much of what is happening around us sometimes we get distracted, what I call distracted. I always tell people, keep focused, keep focused. I mean, even myself, sometimes I get in a slump and I realize the day has passed and I have not really accomplished anything. And I say, okay, the good thing is that every time the sun rises is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. We get an opportunity every day to do better and to be better. So let's take some time. I'm glad you're here. So that means that we have taken some time for ourselves. Many times we want to sign up for something. I mean, I am part of the congregation when I preach here tonight. Okay, when you hear me say something, I'm talking to myself too. So many times, you know, I've heard a priest said that. Many times we go through life and we are very busy, whether with life itself or whether with our career, and we don't find time even to come on at 7 o'clock in the evening for ourselves because we're either tired from work or we have other things to do at home, or sometimes we're working late and we're really, really tired. And what we don't realize is that we spend the time, our energy, our effort, you know, the time building somebody else's goals and somebody else's dreams and putting ourselves on the back burner. Are you tired putting yourself on the back burner? Let me hear you. Are you tired of putting yourself on the back burner, particularly in this climate? It's 2020. Are you tired putting yourself on the back burner? Are you giving work priority all the time over yourself? The time you could, you know, spend doing some reading, doing some exercising, starting to plan, starting to do some research. Are you tired? And sometimes I am tired too. But as I said, every day is an opportunity to go again, to do better. All right, so Francis did this for me, so we keep it rolling. So I want you to make a commitment here. And Francis spoke about closing your browsers. I want you to make sure you have pen and paper because you're going to write. We're back in school. You're going to write. Okay? So make sure you have pen and paper. It could just be a page. It doesn't matter. Your notebook, whatever. Make sure you have pen and paper. Everybody's ready? Do you have pen and paper? Yes? Let me hear it from you. Do you have pen and paper? If not, take some time, run and come back. Run and come back. Pen and paper is a must. I see my dear friend Dawn is here, starring this evening. Right, Diana and Michelle, you got your pen and paper. Great. So our mission this evening, should you choose to accept it, at the end of today, this evening, you should have taken one action step towards your goal. And I'll tell you what I mean by action step. We have action kind of in a box in our heads, but one action step towards your goal. And please, the other part of this evening is for you to get to know somebody, to network, expand your network. As you learn to define and identify your skills, you will start to learn to identify opportunities to use your skills, and that's where your network comes in. So this is your mission today. Are you ready to accept your mission? Are you ready to accept your mission? This is your mission this evening, should you choose to accept it. If you are ready, let me know. Are you ready? Do you accept? Do you accept this mission? Ready, Kim, ready. Natasha, ready. Don't accept the mission. Diana, ready. Latoya, you are ready. We are ready. So let's go. So this is what we're going to do. Janelle is ready. But Padmini is ready. Trisha, you are ready. And I am so ready for you guys. So this is what we're going to do this evening. We're going to look at self-leadership as the missing piece of the puzzle. That puzzle of life, that puzzle of achieving our goals, we're going to look at self-leadership in that context. We're going to look and see why we need to be self-aware and why self-awareness is critical for us to succeed, however success looks for you, however you define success. And then we're going to look at some secrets of goal achievement, secrets, when placed together, are very powerful. So I want you to tell me, so this is the definition from Peter Drucker. But, if I was to ask you yourself, what do you think self-leadership is? This is, take charge of your life. What do you think if somebody was to ask you, so what is self-leadership? What would you say? Come on, speak to me, people. What would you say? Taking charge of your life. Yeah? All right, my screen kind of just being able to motivate oneself. Yes, yeah. Being responsible for yourself and your decision. Absolutely. 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 Yeah. Practicing control over my own thinking and actions. Powerful. Managing every area of your life. Owning all aspects of your life. Intrinsic motivation. I love that, Monel, because to me that's the only motivation that exists. Intrinsic motivation, the motivation that comes within. We can try all the carrots and stick. At the end, we have to decide, anybody, even as a manager, and you try to motivate somebody else. We decide, we make the decision to do or not to do. We make the decision to lie on the couch for hours, binge watching at Netflix. Yeah. We make the decision not to do what we have on our plans to achieve our goals. We make that decision, and that's really taking responsibility for our decisions. So, I remember sharing about that binging. I can't remember the name of the series now. I mean, it's that irrelevant, but I do remember spending the whole night binging a series. And, after you tell yourself, oh my goodness, I waste so much time. You know what I have done with that time? I mean, one show is okay, two, but it happens to all of us. And as I said before, sometimes we follow the bandwagon. But the good thing about life, the good thing about the earth rotating is that every day, every single day, as the sun rises, we get an opportunity to do better and be better than yesterday. So, I want you to think about, so there are 4 pillars of self-leadership. What do you think? Give me one pillar that you think may come under self-leadership. 4 topics, 4 headings. Make a guess. I know we have some self-leadership discipline. We have some self-leadership, what should I say? Probably experts. But we have some people who are in my self-leadership mastermind here, and I welcome you so much. Yeah. I like the vision, the discipline, yeah? So all that falls under some of our pillars. And you may be quite surprised here. So here are our 4 pillars of self-leadership. Mission Legio. So in the self-leadership pillars, first you have self-discovery. Because with self-discovery, we are looking at our values, we are looking at our big why, what we call the 5th why. Those are my mastermind. We went through a session called the 5th why, the why that makes you cry. I mean, people actually have been in a session and people actually came to tears. It's going through this process and you're able to find your deeper why, not the frivolous why we usually tell ourselves. We want to do our degree because we want to get promoted. That's the frivolous why. We need to dig deeper on the 5th why. By the time we reach the 5th why, we should get our true why. So all that is part of self-discovery. What are our skills, our strengths, our areas that we have to develop? All that is part of self-discovery. Then when we look at self-acceptance, now that we see who we are, when we accept our strengths, our the HR speak is areas to develop, our strengths, our areas to develop, and look ourselves in the mirror and see who we are. And it's only through that doing our SWOT analysis on ourselves, that we can really come to a place of self-acceptance, and then focusing on our goals, because by then we would have defined our goals. We would have drilled down those goals into bite-sized pieces. I asked my tribe and my mastermind, how do you eat a big elephant? And anybody, I'm asking, hit me up in the chat. How do you eat a big elephant? How do you eat a big elephant? Gotcha, one bite at a time. So sometimes we have these big, massive goals, and it can be overwhelming. But if we break it down into manageable goals, and then we take those compartments down and work on them, they can add together to achieve that big goals. So that's what the goal setting in this context is like. And then the self-management is really developing habits to help you achieve those goals and keeping yourself accountable, as somebody said before. The self-growth is now taking opportunities to grow, like you're doing right now on this webinar. Tell people everything doesn't cost money. Sometimes we look at things and we say, oh, I don't have the money. But you and I know everything does not cost money. So sometimes, not all the time. I mean, if you want to buy a car, that's your goal. We know that it's going to cost money, but there are some things that we want to achieve, and we can make baby steps, one step at a time to get where we want to go. If we don't have the money, we can do something else, which may be developing our skills. But, to sit back and do nothing, we don't want to go there. So one of the key things about self-leadership is that we have to define our purpose, our path, and our pace. And I'll get into that a little bit. So tell me, why would we consider, now that we know what it's like, and this slide is really just for you to go wild, because by now, why would we consider self-leadership the missing puzzle in our lives to achieve our goals, to live a more fulfilling life? What I call finding that thing that sets your soul on fire. Why would we call it the missing part of the puzzle? Because this is one of the things we say we're going to do this evening. We're going to find out why self-leadership is the missing part of the puzzle. Now hit me up in the chat, because that's how we're communicating. Why is it the missing link? Why is it the missing puzzle? Yeah? Why do you think it's the missing puzzle? I'm not sure if you all are typing and that I'm not seeing. Let's go here. We do so much for ourselves, for others, and not ourselves. We allow others to influence us. So true. And sometimes, especially the negative influence and the negative, conversations we hear from people, sometimes we take it in and we begin to have that negative conversations in our heads. So when we think about the puzzle, it's because, and the missing piece, so self-leadership is really the missing piece, because no matter what we plan, no matter what our goal is, no matter what our big dream is, unless we provide some sort of structure and framework for ourselves, it's so easy to fall off the bandwagon. And sometimes we fall off and we feel that we are so far away from the wagon that we don't worry to jump back on, But if we take some time to develop ourselves, and that's why, setting the goal first without developing yourself is really like putting the cart before the horse, because we set these big goals, even if you write it down, but we don't work on ourselves and we don't provide ourselves a framework to get back on if we drop off. And as Diana said, we first need to know what we want, why we want it, and what would be the benefit of doing what we want, and that's it. And the process of self-leadership, allows you to identify, know what you want and why you want it. It's not just you want a promotion, and it's really why you want to open your business at the side, you want to volunteer. There's a deeper why we must get to, and and I also like to talk about living that life that is connected to who you are, and not really a life that somebody thinks that you should live. So self-leadership is really the missing puzzle, because we need to work on ourselves first, and we can stick the goal achievement in there, but we need to work on ourselves first to get where we want to go. As Diana said, we need to know ourselves, why we want what we want, and what would be benefit when we get it. So I had mentioned the purpose, the path, and the pace, because it's about setting, creating what you want. And so many times we are not sure of the purpose, why we're doing what we're doing. We're in a cycle, and we're really not sure what we're doing, why we're doing what we're doing. And that's where the self-awareness comes along. So you define your purpose. It's not that somebody's going to give you your purpose, or that you believe what is being said to you. And it's you deciding and defining and carving out your path, because your path is yours. It's for nobody else to walk. It's definitely just your path. And then the pace. How many times we compare where we are with where somebody else is? And let me hear you. Have you ever compared where you are in your career, where you are in your life, with either, a colleague, something you see on TV, something you read every day, many times, unfortunately? How many of us compare where we are, who we are, with somebody else, whether TV friend, old friend from school? How many of us? Let me hear you. If it's no, you could say no, but I want to hear more people. Let me hear you. Come on. Yeah, Lygia. I mean, we all do. Yeah, sometimes. Yep. The past self, yeah. So sometimes we go through that journey, and we can reach a stage where we say that we are creating our path. We define our purpose. Nice to hear you, Diana. But at some point in time, we compare even as a child, and then we learn to, as I say, be our own self. And particularly as professionals, sometimes we feel we should be further. For many professionals, sometimes we feel we should be further than where we are. And it's really about being focused about where you want to go. I mean, I remember, I went back to university as an adult. And I went back and did my first degree when I just had, I remember my first daughter was 3 months old when I went to UE and, to the admin office, and I said, but I didn't get anything in the mail, anything that you're starting, I'm not sure if I'm accepted. So I was accepted. That was the good news. And the following week. And I remember too that when people started, they would start, now you had to go part-time, and people started doing 3 courses instead of 2, because they said they will do 3 in case they fail one, that they can catch up the following semester. Yeah. But I did 2. And the thing is that many times we fall into what we see other people doing, or fall into what we see happening around us. So sometimes it's advice, well-intended, and we don't define our pace, our path. And it's really knowing, as Anna had said before, it's really knowing what you want and why you're doing what you're doing. I mean, heavens, I had a 3-month-old home. Although I had, fantastic support system in my family and my husband, but if I knew I have a 3-month home. Why would I take on 3 courses instead of 2? So obviously I took the minimum. And again, it's just knowing your context, your situation, and defining your path and your pace. Now, as we move on to self-awareness, again, defining your purpose, your path, and your pace is really about knowing yourself and knowing your context. And again, it's critical to your success. And that's where the self-leadership comes in. And it's about knowing your values. It's about knowing your why, your 5th why, your deep why. It's about knowing your strengths. It's about knowing the areas of development. It's about knowing your tribe that you can tap into to support. It's about knowing your network that you can use to practice your areas to develop and utilize your strengths. So when we talk about self-awareness, it's really about some introspection. And many, many times we go through life and we really don't think about our strengths. So ladies, let me hear you. Do you like that picture, ladies? This is not for the guys. Ladies, this is put in just for you. Do you like this picture? Are there any women in the house who doesn't like muscles? Yes, Dawn, eye candy. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Eye candy. I put in a little eye candy for you all this evening. Yeah. We all try to keep healthy. I mean, I too try to do my cycling. So when I talk about strengths, I thought about muscles here in the picture. But when we're speaking about strengths, we're really speaking about your internal strengths, what you bring to the table. And let me ask you, do you know what your strengths are? Do you know what your strengths are? I'm not hearing you. Sort of. Anybody knows what your strengths are? Some of them. Good, Latoya. Jade says somewhat. Do you know what your strengths are? All right, Kim, legit said, I'm seeing some, no, yes. I'm learning. Michelle, some, somewhat, some. All right, some. So it's important for us to know our key strengths. You know, you got to know your key strengths if you want to, what I call, taking advantage of your strengths and using it in your journey to success, to achieve your goals, whatever that may look like, or however you define that. Because remember, you're defining your purpose, your path, and your pace. So when we define our strengths, when we identify our strengths, and then we can know, okay, so what could I do? What could I do that matches that strength? Yeah. So a simple thing for me, I remember I was with a meeting with a client earlier this year, and there was a little tug of war between the manager and the employee. And it was a roundtable discussion, and I allowed the employee to share their views and how they felt. And I made sure that I received and let the employee know that I received their opinion and their thoughts. And after we had finished that meeting, the CEO said to me, what you have, Charlene, is a gift because you're able to diffuse that situation. So I know for me, that is a strength. I know that when I speak to people, I try to make them feel that their opinion, that their thoughts that they're sharing, that it's valid and it's valued. So I say it's V squared, valid and value. So valued. So we must know our strengths so that we can use our strengths and pull it out of our back pockets. The other thing when we talk about self-leadership and when we talk about taking charge, is about our mindset. So tell me, people, in this situation, when we look like this, I hear you, Diana. Yeah, I know where my source come from too. Only one place, so let's not forget it. You're a good listener, Diana, the other Diana. So let's talk about mindset. So we all are really, when I saw this photograph, I said, bingo, 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 kind of jackpot. Because this is how we are now. This is how we are in our homes. I mean, we're back to work for some of us. But generally, there's nowhere to go. As I told somebody, I live in Trinidad, there's really nowhere to go. You can't even go out and eat. You just go by and come home because the restaurants are closed. You just have curbside. So we have opened up a bit, but there's still this feeling of being locked away and masked up. And that can do so much for our mindset. So if I have to ask you, how do you feel when you look at this photograph? The photograph with the mask on, behind the bars. Charlene, how do you feel?
We're going to take our intermission at this point.
Share with me, how do you feel?
Charlene, you hearing me?
All right, Francis is coming up for our break to shake those legs.
Are you hearing me, Charlene? Okay, great. We're going to take our intermission, our technical
yes, I'm hearing you, Francis.
And answer that question when we come back. You want to repeat the question real quick?
All right, so real quick, how do you feel when you look at that photograph, mask on, behind bars? Yeah, how do you feel? I seen Dominica, it didn't last so long. I knew I should have gone Dominica. So how do you feel masked up behind bars? So Francis, you have instructions for them to come back on?
Sign off, close out the room, and just keep refreshing because we're going to be starting back at 1:15. So just keep hitting the refresh to refresh the page,
next 5 minutes.
And then we'll be coming back in.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So this is gonna close out. We'll see you back here in 5 minutes time. Bye.
Take a washroom break. 5 minutes. We still have your gift for you. Okay, back in 5. Hold on for your gift. Be back in 5 minutes.